Welcome. In front of me is a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold5, and today I will show you how you can set up your device. So, with that being said, I'm gonna clarify one thing before I get started, that my setup will just vary a tiny bit from yours because this device is not absolutely brand new for me. It has been already set up for the very first time. So this is a second setup after the reset. But in your case, when you're getting it straight out of the box, unsealing it and all that stuff, you will have one additional step that you need to take that you will not see in my case. I'm gonna mention it once it comes to it. So to get started, we're just gonna press the button right here, and we're gonna find our desired language. For me, it's English, which is already selected. So I'm gonna go to the next page, which allows me to use mobile network for setup. Now, I don't have a SIM card in here, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go next and ignore this. This will then give us, for your review, which is End User License Agreement. Just select it, that you have read it. You can tap on details to actually read it if you are interested in it, but that's the only thing that you need to select. Going to the next page, we have easy setup with another device, and this will allow you to move over your data from an older device to this one. Now, with that being said, right now you could basically pair this up with Galaxy device, Android, or iPhone or iPad, and you can choose which one it will be if you want to move over the data from an old device. That being said, if you open this up later on in the settings, it will actually open up a window if you have a Samsung device on your other device, which doesn't really happen right here. As you can see, it will open it up at the bottom, similar to what you get when you have some kind of, for instance, Galaxy Buds, and you open them up and it gives you the pop-up that you can connect them. This will work exactly the same way. Now, if you don't want to move over any data, which is basically what I'm going to be doing, you can set it up to set up manually. This will then take us to the next page where we can choose our Wi-Fi network. Now, I do have a skip button, but if I'm correct, this won't work. Yep, for some absolutely annoying reason. So actually it might work. Well, it actually does work. But in any case, I'm going to connect to it just so we can keep the similar. In your case, if this is a brand new device for you, I believe have no button right here to skip. So that's completely normal. It's just Samsung being Samsung and forcing you to basically set up the device the way they want it, not the way you want it. It's a user setup, but not for you, it's for Samsung. So I'm gonna connect to my network. And there we go. And once connected, it will automatically go to the next page. Now here is the difference. In your case, once you connect to your network, you won't see this page. You'll see another page telling you that you need to now restart the device. We go back to your user or your setup and Samsung setup. So yeah, Samsung now wants you to reboot the device for no reason. Absolutely no explanation why. And just to clarify, Samsung is the only brand, as far as I'm aware, that does this, because middle finger from Samsung. So once you have done the pointless reboot of your device throughout the setup process, you can then continue the setup. Now, it might be that you're a couple steps behind because of the reboot, so just progress through it till you get to where I am right now, which is connect to mobile network. What? Why though? I don't have a SIM card in here? Yeah, I don't. That's just not the brightest thing. We already skipped mobile network, so why does it bring it back up here? Anyway, we're just gonna select setup later and settings. So yeah, great. This could have been skipped by Samsung just knowing what you have selected prior and deducing out of that what you're doing right now. Anyway, once we skip that, we have getting your phone ready. Apparently it couldn't do that when it was rebooting. And here we have copy apps and the data. Now this might seem like it's showing up again, but this one is from Google and through Google account instead of the prior one being non-account related, but going through the application and creating a hotspot between two devices and allowing you to import data in that way. This one just allows you to import data that is already on your Google account cloud. So if you want to do that, you can go through it. You will need to sign in to your Google account. I am planning to set up this device as new, so I'm going to be selecting Don't Copy. Now, after a moment, we will also have the option to sign in to our Google account. Now, this step is completely optional and you don't have to sign up to it. You will also have the option to sign into a Samsung account if that is something that you prefer doing instead. So, let's skip this. Now, before we have that visible, we will have Google services, and those services include location, scanning, and sending user and diagnostic data. If you don't want some of them, you can turn them off, and then we can go to the next page. This will then allow us to choose our desired search engine. We have a wide variety of different engines that we can choose from. I'm going to be sticking with the vanilla one, which is Google. Then we have protect your phone, and here we can set up a screen lock for our device. We have several different methods of protecting our device. That would be fingerprint, face recognition, or PIN, pattern, or password. Now, if you're planning to set up fingerprint or face recognition, you will need to set up a physical way of unlocking the device, which means you would need to choose either PIN, pattern, or password. Now, the reason for that is if, for instance, I just have a hypothetical situation, you are in an accident on a bike or whatever, and your hands get damaged and your face, for instance, you bang up, you have like swollen face or something like that, and your hands are scratched up, you would not be able to access your device anymore. So that would leave you with the ability to unlock it using PIN, pattern, or password, which cannot change. So that's why you basically are forced to set up PIN, pattern, or password when choosing either face recognition or fingerprint, or both. Now, obviously, you don't need to protect your device if you don't want to. So you can select skip. And this will then go to the next page. So here we have Samsung account. And again, it's very similar to Google account. But the only difference is Samsung wants you to really sign into their account because we really want your data. So when you try to skip it, it gives you this annoying message. Now, I bet you never seen Google pop up with such an annoying message, even though Google basically offers everything that is listed right here. So just to kind of go down the list, we have Samsung Cloud, which we have Google Cloud, Bixby, Hey Google, Galaxy Theme, Play Store, Find My Mobile. Samsung just decided to eat the Find My Device from here, so like yoink, and it's gone because we need to have our only option, so it incentivizes you to log into our Samsung account. Galaxy Store, again, entirety of a Play Store. Samsung Folder, again, they decided to like yoink the feature from here and substitute it with their own. So that being said, it is using Knox as a security means. So that's a decent option. Samsung Members, which is a nothing burger, and most important actual option in here is the Samsung Pass, which I left as the last one. So Samsung Pass is again protected by Knox, which supposedly should be more secure than typical like Google account, which as you probably are aware, at one point in time Google accounts got hacked, and basically you could check on the internet if your account was compromised or not, and if you assign passwords to your Google account when you're using your browser and you select to save your password, yeah, all your passwords could be compromised. So you might want to also check that out. Samsung Pass would hopefully resolve that problem by being more secure. How much secure? I have no idea. I'm not a IT specialist, so take that with a grain of salt, but supposedly it should be more secure. In any case, I'm going to be skipping it all because I don't care. And we have some Samsung services. You can go through them, read them, and you can also turn them all off if you don't want any of them. Then moving to the next page, we have the option to select a theme, light or dark. You can change that later on in the settings if you want to. And then we have the nice brochure of things not to do with your brand new device, because it's not really yours, it's Samsung's, you're only renting it. Now I'm going to go over this entire list in the most sarcastic manner I possibly can. So we have, don't press your finger too hard on the display because it's made out of plastic. So as plastic, it's not as durable as glass in an $1,800 device. Then we have only use the S Pen designed for the Galaxy Fold. The Galaxy Fold might detect that you're using not an Fold pen, and it will know that you're trying to use it because it does pop up with a message, but it tells you, nah, stop it. Go buy our separate pen. We know you have a tablet or for whatever the case may be, but no, you cannot use this pen. You need to use the special pen. Next, we have don't put anything between the device when folding it. Now that is more common sense kind of thing. You probably don't want to, put your keys between the plastic display that can get damaged by just pressing your fingernail a little bit too hard on the display. Now this phone isn't dust resistant, which is kind of odd because it does pretty well at just not getting the dust in between the hinges from jerry-rig everything videos. But nonetheless, it's not dust resistant, so maybe try to keep it away from sandy beaches or just any kind of very dusty places. Otherwise, it might get somewhere in the hinges and start making unwanted creaking noises when you're opening it up and folding it, and that will be very unfortunate. Now next is that this phone is water resistant, IPX8. That's why we have our little crease right here, because we cannot fathom the fact that people don't really care that much about water resistant. They care more about the crease, but yet we just give them the same heated up phone for the 3rd generation. But that being said, the phone does not do too well with salty waters, alcohol, that might damage your device. And if we detect that you've been bad and been using this device in not the exact way with clean water only, which basically would specify that you can only take showers with it, or take showers, because you can even take it to the swimming pool because of the chloride or whatever it is in it, that would also classify as a harmful water for it. And if they detect that you have been using it in a not intended way, bye-bye goes your warranty for your $1,800 device that needs to have a screen protector changed every 8 months. Which takes us to the next page or next statement, that the don't remove the protecting film on it, because it's supposed to protect your plastic display, though technically it's not plastic, but the protector is. And with that being said, if you remove that, which isn't actually specified right here, you will void your warranty. So again, bye-bye goes your warranty. One thing that I will say in not sarcastic tone is when your screen protector starts to come off, and it will happen after about 8 months, give or take a couple months. For me, it started happening after about 10. Samsung, as long as your device is under warranty, will replace it for free. Now, with that being said, if you procrastinate a little bit too long with replacing that screen protector that is coming off on the inside display, I want to mention, they will void your warranty anyway. Because I guess if it's coming off on its own already fully, then I guess you've been a bad boy and bye-bye goes your warranty anyway. If it starts to come off and you peel it off yourself, again, bye-bye goes your warranty. So what you'll start seeing is that air starts to get basically in between the crease. Once that starts to happen, you'll probably over time see that it's just kind of going all the way through. Just take it to Samsung, and as long as your device is under warranty, they will replace it for free. It only takes 30 minutes or so it should be pretty easy and quick service. Now, with that being said, after your device is off warranty, this will actually cost you about $50, I think it is, something like that, or 20. I guess it might depend. In Poland, where I'm from, when I asked them how much it would be, they told me about $50, roughly translated into from PLN to USD. But last time I've heard in US, apparently it's $25 or something along those lines. So it might be different pricing in different regions. Just keep that in mind. Now, last thing will be also without a sarcastic tone, because this device does have magnets, so try to not put it next to things that might be affected by magnets, maybe like a pacemaker, hard drives, stuff like that, because it could affect them, damage them. So yeah, just try to stay away from that one. And that would conclude the things to not do with your device, which finishes up the setup. And here we have our home screen. So with that being said, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.